Thanks for joining me. With all that's been happening with the Epstein files, especially the last major dump, 3 million that were out and then they were removed due to redactions and exposing the victims' information, and it's been a real problem. I haven't really discussed this much, but I'm feeling compelled to because there's a new prophecy out, more detailed, from the Unnamed Elder that I'm going to get into. I have several elders to share their prophecies about this particular issue of this Epstein demonic web. There's the Diddy one that came out before that. I think they're all kind of connected. So, I mean, all the things that I thought didn't exist, that was just all made up because it sounded so outrageous, seemed to be true, like Pizzagate. Didn't pay attention to that. And, the whole the Diddy thing, I was just like, oh, that's just crazy. When Jaguar Wright spoke about it, I thought, baby sacrifices, what are you talking about? And all these weird rituals. It's turning out to be quite true. If you listen to the reports by Ben Swan, and he's been following that for a long time, as well as Ian Carroll, you learn that this is not make-believe. This is not made up. It's not fiction. It's reality. So you have these horrible things going on. It's just horrific. So like I said, you have the Pizzagate, you have the Diddy thing, you have the Epstein ring, you have the trafficking, you have the sacrifices, you have the torture, you have even cannibalism, we're being told. And it's horrific. And it's been going on for many years, decades. And, things like this happen, and I always wonder how it is that this earth is still here. That all of us are still, that how the world has not just totally collapsed. But then, I remember saints like Saint Paisios that said, well, if it wasn't for the monks and the nuns praying all over the world 24/7, the world would collapse. In any case, I want to share with you some videos on a few elders who have spoken, I think, around this issue. And remember, I think it came out in 2019, the whole Epstein thing. It started, that's when he was arrested, if I am remembering correctly. So I'm going to go to the first video here. This is the one that I did about 6 months ago. This is from Elder Joseph of Vatopedi. And you'll see it says, he was interviewed by somebody 2001 and 2007. He said, God will permit the destruction of all those who are sowing these temptations, pornography, and drug addiction. And the Lord will so blind their minds that they will destroy one another without receiving any satisfaction therefrom. So, I immediately thought of that, even, seeing it years ago. That's what I thought of, was these pedo rings and things like that. So let's go on to hit what he says also here. During this Third World War, those enslaving the world by diabolical means, who have collected the wealth of all the nations, are going to vanish during the war by the hand of their own enemies, as he says. They're going to destroy themselves, as he said. Here, now with Father Elpidios, like I said, it's difficult to know exactly what he was talking about because he This is in November 2021. At first, when I watched this in 2022, I thought he was talking about the pandemic. But yeah, he'll mention it, but then later in the video, he's speaking of future events, of the new crew, of the World War, of all of that we will go through. And he also said we will see, saying to his the faithful there. So he says here, soon something very evil will be discovered, and you will see. You will understand by what deception they will steal your children. Again, you could think, oh, that's the pandemic thing and the pressure for that medical device to be done, and then the whole TRANS thing. But I just haven't seen this happen of the elders, prophesizing on something that's already in the midst of, meaning that they're already in a certain event. The only thing I saw was that the elders, Amanathos, came out with a letter or so. A couple of them, a few of them spoke on the worries over the medical devices and stuff. But other than that, nothing. So let me go back in, and so you'll notice he says soon, but at the same time he says will. So soon something very evil will be discovered. Well, that makes it sound like this evil has been going on for quite a while, and it'll be discovered. Okay? And you will see. And then he's talking about the stealing. It will steal your children, which makes no sense. But if they're speaking in prophetic terms, a lot of times they say things in the present. But you all, this is just my interpretation. Tell me what you think. And we'll go on to the next part. He says, they will blackmail your children. They will blackmail you through them. I don't know exactly what this thing will be, but I only know according to what was given to me to understand that they will do a great evil against children. And at that time, you will cry a lot. So, again, it sounds like a future thing. And that they're going to do all these things. But then at the same time, he says, soon it'll be discovered. In other words, it sounded like it's been going on for a long time. And as we know, these pedo rings and all these things have been going on for decades. It's really sick when you think about it. But anyway, let's go on. He says, he gets into the Pascha midnight service issue and all that. Eventually, though, he talks about the new crew, like I said, and the war and all that. He does say here, all you who are present should commune with the body and blood of Christ. It is the last Easter which we will perform, let us say, in peace. Everything will be different going forward from next year. And you remember that I said he had said this in November 2021. Well, what happened a few months later in 2022? What happened was the Ukraine-Russian war started. And that's when he's saying in peace. Well, we're not going to be saying that. Yeah, because that started and so it's been going on since then. I don't know. You all tell me what you think on that. But I found it quite interesting. I'm going to go now to Eldress Galaktia. She said this to Metropolitan Neophytus that, she wanted him to start speaking out when he reached 50. And he said, well, what am I supposed to be saying to people? She, let's see, what do our saints want me to talk about? And she told me something that, as we say in Cypriot, carnival season is approaching. I might as well say it. My jaw dropped. Well, you should be speaking out about the dirty, she said. Aristos, are you listening to what she said? Speak out about the dirty? The kind other people are embarrassed to talk about or afraid to say because they don't have a clear conscience. I asked her again, which dirty should I be talking about? She says, my son, Christ revealed to me that a great evil is coming in the next few years. The whole world will be shaken, and the reason is especially 3 sins. You'll notice she doesn't bring up the war, but she's talking about these 3 sins that are the main thing that's going to shake up the world. Of course, abortions, and again, abortions had been happening with these demonic networks. The things we have just mentioned, in other words. And he goes into the different types of things used to supposedly, to get to terminate a pregnancy, basically. Okay, that's the first great sin. Then second is unnatural, sexual sins that take place both inside and outside marriage. The third one is witchcraft and Satanism. So everything he just mentioned is included in the Epstein demonic web, as well as the Diddy parties and, that group, and the Pizzagate and all this stuff. It has all 3 of those elements in it, including the real horrific torture, cannibalism, sacrifice. I mean, this whole thing is in there with this Satanism. So I could see why that's going to shake up the world. When you have that much of that going on, and these rich, sick people, just so many, it affects the world. Just like when the holy things are done, it affects the world. Well, so does evil. I'm going to end the videos with this video, because I've been going through a whole list of them. I'm going to end with the Unnamed Elder, his newest coming out portion. I'm only reading this portion because I'm centering on a specific topic. I'm going to go to about 4 different videos on this to do each topic specifically, pinpointing on that particular issue. So he says, my children, these global developments will be enormous. They will have no precedent. They will have a beginning, but the end will be delayed. The end will indeed be painful for many, but it will be peaceful for the rest, those who have suffered at the hands of the many. This is how everything will unfold. You will live through a situation, my children, where you will wish the earth would move from beneath your feet so you could hide somewhere else. You will live through a situation where even the heavens will weep at the hour of the events. You will live through a situation where saints will descend to earth together with the angels to help the world. They will speak to you in your own language, Orthodox and non-Orthodox alike. All those who wanted to bring this great evil, the hour of justice has come. And then he talks about prayer, faith, repentance. But this line here, all those who wanted to bring this great evil, the hour of justice has come. Same as what Elder Joseph was saying, and what Father Elpidios eventually says. These people will not survive. These people will. God has the plan, and that there will be an end to this evil, at least for a while. So I hope you got something out of that. I just wanted to center on that because this has just been so much in the news, and I just felt like I really needed to get that out. Thanks so much for watching, for following my channel. If you haven't, hit that notification bell so you can be notified when my videos come out. If you haven't subscribed, please consider it if you like my content. Until next time.